My name is Gay Bentham. I'm British and I have now been in Bahrain for 40 years. I first came to Bahrain in 1983 with Citibank. I was working with Citibank in Greece, in Athens, and their training centre. When the training centre closed, I came with Citibank and got a job here in Bahrain. I originally thought I'm just going to be here for a couple of years, and then like everybody I've spoken to, I fell in love with Bahrain. Everyone was so welcoming, I felt so safe, it was peaceful, and in those days Bahrain was different. It was a lot smaller than it is now, and there wasn't an awful lot to do, but it was just a very special place. From Citibank, I moved to Investcorp for 5 or 6 years, and then after that I went back to the UK in '91. Got back to the UK and I was hankering after Bahrain. I couldn't stop thinking about Bahrain, and I came back in 1993 and started working for our Capita, which at that time was called First Islamic Investment Bank. So I was with them from the very beginning, and it was a fabulous job. I loved it, and the time just passed and I'm still here, and I retired 15 years ago and I've made my home here. When I retired and when I left our Capita, I decided to take a course in photography because I was always interested in photography. So I went off to Cambodia and I took a photography course there. And then when I came back, I started exploring Bahrain. I love the culture here, I love the traditions, I love the architecture. There are so many interesting places. And I love the fact that Bahrain has retained its cultural identity. So I started taking photographs of Bahrain, and then started having them made into prints and postcards and canvases, and I sell them now at the National Museum and the Made in Bahrain shops. So that keeps me busy, and there's still places to explore. My favourite places in Bahrain are the Pearling Trail in Muharraq, and I think that has been so beautifully restored, and even now it's even better. I was there just a couple of weeks ago and it's just lovely. The Bahrain Fort, I always take visitors to these places. Jazra House, which nobody goes to, and it's beautiful. Of course, the Tree of Life, all these places. There are a lot of beautiful places in Bahrain to explore. The back streets of Muharraq, the back streets of Manama Souk. Yes, and the culture is just evident everywhere you go. And what I love about not just the Bahrainis, but everyone that lives in Bahrain has a pride in Bahrain, in the country. One time I was with my sister walking down the Pearling Trail, And this old Bahraini man came running out of his house and gave us 2 Bahraini flags. It was that just says it to me of Bahrain, you know, how friendly everyone is, how welcoming. I just love it here. I'm never going to leave. The food, yes, the food is very good. I mean, you get everything here, but the Bahraini food, I love the Bahraini breakfasts. I like to go to these special breakfast places like Haji's in Manama, and there's a really nice breakfast place in Arad Walkway, and the customs. Yeah, I mean, I love to go to the festivals when they have them here with the men dancing and playing the music. It's really something. I think that's one of the big pluses here is the tolerance towards everyone, you know, different nationalities, different religions. I have worked with some communities here, like the Environment Friends Society, which is run by Kaula Al-Mahanadi, and she's very, very passionate about the environment, especially the sea. And this is so important. I've also worked a lot with migrant workers associations here because I feel, you know, sometimes they have a hard lot here and I like to help them as much as I can. And the BSPCA. The BSPCA is in danger of closing due to lack of funds, so I'm trying to raise funds at the moment by selling some of my artwork. A lot of people are now trying to help just to stop them closing down, because it's the only really animal shelter here in Bahrain that cares so much for the animals. The turtle story. It was 10 years ago, and I was out on the beach. I was on my kayak. It was a Friday, and I saw people on their boats looking at something in the water. So I kayaked out, and there was a massive turtle. I mean, it was massive, just floating in the water, and it was covered in like green algae, and it looked like it was just dying. And I felt so bad. So I came back, and I was just trying to find, how can we help this turtle? I tried to call the Bahrain fisheries. Like, everything was closed because it was a Friday. And then I like Googled, and just by chance I came across this name of Kaula Al-Mahanadi, and I found a number for her, and I called and there was no reply. It was Friday, and I thought, she's not going to reply, she doesn't know my number. So I called again, I left a message. I said, there's a big turtle here in Amwaj and it's in trouble. Can you help? Or we need help. And she responded immediately, where is it? And she sent a team out, and almost everyone along the beach here got involved. It was the most beautiful thing, rescuing this turtle. It took all afternoon because it drifted right down, and then it took 4 men to lift this turtle. It was really, really big. And they took it up to a facility, I don't even know where the place is, but it's way out along the coast. And they brought it back to health with the help of people from all over the world. They were talking to vets all over the world, and they saved it and they released it into the ocean at the end. It was beautiful. I just always loved looking at good photographs, like photographers. I just was always interested. I never really had time to focus on it. I was busy working. I was working like 24/7 at these jobs. And that was the one thing I thought, when I have the time, I want to learn how to take photographs with a proper camera and learn all the controls and do it properly. And that's what I did, and I've loved it. It is my passion. It's become my passion. When I came to Bahrain, I was given a fantastic opportunity when I started working with First Islamic Investment Bank. I was with them from the beginning. They eventually grew into our capita. So I started with them when it was just like 10 or 11 people. And the CEO I knew from Investcorp, Atif Abdulmalik. Now, Atif gave me this opportunity to, I was started as a secretary, as a personal assistant, and he said, Gay, we need a corporate communications department at the bank. We're growing, we need corporate communications. I want you to run it. I went, but I don't know anything about it. And he said, you'll learn. And I did. And he gave me that chance to grow. And I became part of the management team at Our Capita. I did very well there. I loved the job. And I'm always just so grateful that I was given that chance. You know, I met so many famous people. I had to organize all the conferences for the investors. So we had huge conferences every 2 years, somewhere in Europe. And I mean, it was a big job to organize these things, you know, maybe 200 people, keynote speakers like, you know, prime ministers and statesmen and things like that, having to organize private planes coming in, blah, blah, so much. I had all that responsibility and I did it, and I think that's probably my greatest achievement. It was hard work, but if I hadn't have come to Bahrain, I would never have had that opportunity. And I think I would have been languishing somewhere in the UK in some dead-end job, you know. But no, Bahrain's been very good to me. I mean, I've had a checkered life. I've been traveling all my life. I lived in Greece for 12 years. I've done everything from dolphin training to working at Citibank and everything in between. So I love traveling. And that's another reason I chose Bahrain initially, because it's in such a good location geographically to travel, especially east, because I love India, I love the Far East, and also Europe. It's just the perfect location. But I will always come back to Bahrain. I feel like this is my home. It is my home. I've retired here now. I had this house built, and I was the first to have a house built on Amwaj, as a matter of fact. So yes, I have very strong ties here. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. It's kind of hard. It was in those days hard as a woman to be accepted in my job in management. I felt like I had to fight to be heard. I think it's different these days. Probably we're talking about like 25 years ago. So it was not easy. But I'm proud that I did it and I was accepted, finally.
My name is Ihsan Rida Hussein. I am a good friend with Gay, photographer. I've been working with her through the markets. I've been attending exhibitions with her, and I know her for more than 20 years. We've been supporting each other, actually, because I do markets selling things, handcrafts, and her photographs. So we've been together for more than 20 years, making markets and attending her exhibitions. I have lots of memories with her, nice memories by swimming, traveling together, attending exhibitions. And one of the memories is one year we've been, during the winter, we've been swimming all the way to Tala, which was very, very, very cold, but we did it, and it was a very nice memory. And actually I'm holding now one of her photographs, which actually I have it at my house, but in a bigger piece. because this was my favorite. And at my house, actually, I have lots of hair pictures, around 20 or more, all over my house, all over my family house, my mom's house, and they just love it. And today, I'm here at the Bahrain Museum, at the gift shop, to show you around some of her artwork, her nice things actually, some pictures and postcards, and maybe we will buy some. And now, let us go around and have a look.
I still love to go out and take photographs. I love to travel. I'm busy. I still do a little bit of work for our Capita, proofreading and editing some of their things occasionally. And I have a nephew who's a writer in America, and I proofread and edit his books. So I'm always busy. Always got something to do. I swim every morning. When the conditions are right, I swim from here over to Tala and back. When I say conditions are right, that means it's not too cold, it's not too hot, and there are no jellyfish. But otherwise, I swim in my pool, but I make sure that I swim for half an hour at least every morning. And then quite often I'll go and work on my photographs. I also do AI art. This is a latest thing, artificial intelligence. So I have an app for that, so I create pictures on that. I haven't done anything with them yet. I haven't printed them. I just play. But I've got some pretty nice images. I've thought about it. And play video games. I'm retired now, so I love to watch tennis. I think what Bahrain has taught me too, tolerance, and that's a big one, because here, especially, you come across so many different nationalities, so many different strata of the society, and you need to be tolerant and accepting of everyone. Because the way that Bahrain accepted me, I've learned to accept everybody that I meet, whatever position they're in, from the balladeer guy, up to CEO of the bank. I think this is crucial, so that's a big lesson that I've learned. And to be kind. Again, it doesn't take much, like giving water to the balladeer guys or giving them some money every now and then, helping out with the migrant workers when they're in a bad situation, which sometimes they are. If there's been a fire, they've lost all their belongings, many terrible situations they get themselves into, to help out as much as I can. I think those are the two things that I've learned from my time here. Yes, I've been lucky to be able to exhibit some of my photography, even from the beginning at some of the smaller galleries which have closed now. But I've had two big exhibitions at the Bahrain Financial Harbour. And they have asked me if I want to have another exhibition, so I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's good exposure, but it's a lot of work. So I'm quite happy just taking the photographs.